Hey, what's going on, WTF Nation Radio? It is I, the magnanimous King Smith, here today live with my main man, Coach. Coach, let the people know something.
What do you hear? What do you say? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very boring week in the world of sports, hasn't it, King?
It has. And while there has been the kickoff of the Olympics, I have been traveling. I'm just getting back in town, hence why my face isn't even made up. I have to fire my makeup department. But we're here, we live, and we're gonna talk about the one thing that is going on in the world right now: the 2024 Olympics that have kicked off in Paris. Have you been watching any of the Olympics?
Man, I didn't watch anything Friday. I had to work Friday night, but I came home Saturday and literally was hoping that something else was on the TV, and there wasn't anything. But I've got the Peacock app, and the Peacock app has showed me my two or three favorite channels that I am going to be watching the Olympics on over that, and I could definitely talk to you about everything with that, man. I'll tell you, freaking, I'm not gonna miss. I'll stay up to date on everything, and I'm not gonna miss a single bit of the important shit.
Good deal. Good
Yeah.
deal. Now, I know we talked a little bit about it last week. What are the events that you're looking forward to for this Olympics?
Well, I mentioned that I usually watch the track and field. I like the long jump, and the sprints. The basketball, obviously, between the men and the women. The beach volleyball, which I did get to see today, so thank goodness that was on. And I think the diving in this it was the other one that I said because I was looking for that at the River Seine. But man, today I watched some sports I never thought I'd be watching before, and I would say it's pretty cool. I think Paris has done a lot to use the existing buildings, infrastructure, and available space to host several of these events so that it didn't have to be someplace special for the Olympics. Like I was watching the fencing, and they're literally doing. They put up a like canopies in between intersections on streets, put bleachers up left and right, and they were fighting in the middle of the streets or fencing. That's where in the middle of the streets in Paris, and it looked freaking awesome, man.
That will be cool to see. Like some of those events like that where the setup's a little bit different, but it's still within the parameters of fair competition. And you get to see these
Yeah.
athletes from various countries competing and everybody doing their best to try to bring home the gold or any medal. I think medaling, no matter whether it's the gold, silver, or the bronze, is an accomplishment in itself. But definitely bringing home that gold as best of the best is what it's all about. Now, before we get into the rest of today's episode, we're not the only shows here at WTF Nation Radio. Coach, why don't you give a rundown of the other shows that are streamed live here at WTF Nation Radio each night of the week, almost every night of the week at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time?
Absolutely, and it's unlike disrupting military recruitment efforts like that's inside the chats right now. We come to you live and actually do something over here on WTF Nation Radio. We come to you live now 5 nights a week on Sunday through Thursday. And we start off the week with us on the sports bar, coming to you, myself and King, talking to you about the world of sports. And then on Monday, we have the Monday edition with Ice. And, well, we've had a rotating group of hosts out there, but I know my boy Mad Mike has been out there, and I know that Ship has been out there. But we're going to be talking to you about what's affecting our lives within the world and what's happening within the news. Obviously, we're going to be talking about what's happening with the knuckleheads who are running for the greatest seat in the free world and a bunch of other things that have happened around the military once I text you on Monday with the Monday edition. Then on Tuesday, our boys CQ, Angry Elf, Mad Mike, Nemo and his rotating group of guest hosts that he has comes to you live on Pop Culture Nation, talking to you about what is happening in pop culture. Heck, Robert Downey Jr. just got announced as returning Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four reboot, the third time that thing is going to be going, and hopefully this time it goes well. Hopefully you talk about that as well as Deadpool and Wolverine. If you guys saw that, hey, great for you out of there. I will definitely let you all know you want to check all that stuff out every Tuesday night on the award-winning podcast of Pop Culture Warrior. Wednesday night, our boys CQ and TeeZee come to you live with the Smoke Pit, and it's just a great BS session to get you through the week, talk to you about whatever is on the mind, and just having a great conversation, being back together with the boys and the gals, once again talking about the crap that we want to. I have found out more about the sexual exploits of TeeZee on that show than I care. So, Len, if you are absolutely drool horny, go ahead and check out Wednesday nights on on the Smoke Pit. Wrap up the week on Thursday with Sergeant's Time. Our stalwart Ice will talk to you about what is happening at the leadership level within the United States military and veteran communities. You definitely want to be up to date as far as what's happening with the benefits, what's happening at the units, and what's impacting our day of lives over on the Sergeant's Time show. Yes, okay. And I am pausing because Friday we do have our weekend co-ops that come out, and that will be on a rotating basis. Definitely want you all to check out the other channels that we have, especially on Space Force. I believe does one of their things. Vet does something. Oh yeah. On top of that, there's some dude who plays board games every Friday. I don't know who the hell that guy is, but yeah, he likes to play board games every Friday on his own channel with some other host of this daggone show. And yeah, you can check them out on Fridays and on Saturdays as we do several gaming initiatives to get you through the week. And that is on U.S Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, X. Hi, all of you all watching out there. Hey, U.S Army memes, what's going on? How you doing today? Oh yeah, we're also on Kick and YouTube for those of you that are out there with who's watching us on YouTube. I see the King and Me show is out there watching us on YouTube today, along with U.S. Army memes is watching us on Facebook. So yeah, thank you all for where you all you're coming in. All you all on X, hope you all are enjoying that trash platform over there. And those of you that are on Kick, well, I hope that your mother's basement is doing well. All right, back to us, King. Let's kick the show off.
All right. Now,
Gesso.
I'm going to start by just getting into the first controversial thing that has popped up here at the Olympics. Again, because the last couple of days I've been on travel, I've been with my lady's family at a reunion. I have missed a lot of the opening stuff, but I saw this photo here, and Coach, I'm going to need you to give me some insight on what this photo is about here. What's going on here,
All
man?
right, give me a moment here. I am going to actually take a look at it. Let me see what we're looking at. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what you are actually looking at um, is France's idea of what will piss off the American right. Um, no, this is supposed to be some French. I don't know how to put this. Some type of French artistic thing that was done in French freaking blah, like either performance or art or theater or book or whatever. Something French like this. And apparently, it looked a lot like The Last Supper, where there's a lot of people that were pissed off because that woman in the middle definitely is not a cross dressing Jesus Christ. And and there was this one, I don't know, purple dude who had like a ginger beer or ginger beard. And yeah, he is just absolutely, it is just ridiculous with what happened. And a lot of people would get ticked off about whatever was being done. Oh, look, the opening ceremony is always a political stunt. 2022, if I remember when they were in Korea, there were media outlets that were complimenting Kim Jong Un's sister and saying how graceful she was and how graceful she represented North Korea, completely not worrying about this. There's going to find something political, and they found something political in this artist thing because, well, it looked a little bit like The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. And let me be quite honest with you. The Last Supper is a painting. Jesus was not sitting at a table all the way that long with somebody in the middle of it and those people inside that. Yeah, I do want Olympic talk. I'd rather be talking about the Olympics than be talking about Jesus on our sports show. But let's just be quite honest here. The people got ticked off at that. King, I did send you something else that might have actually been a little bit funnier that we can go to instead of this part. But that's what ended up happening, and that's what the
Okay.
big takeaway was as far as the opening ceremony, which was pretty cool seeing some of the boats coming through the River Seine and bringing all 1,100 of the U.S. athletes on. I wish we could have gotten that going on there.
Good deal. All right. I
Oh,
am
wow.
going
U.S.
to.
Army Memes is going to give the VA hell next week.
Hey, you know what? U.S. Army memes, take care of yourself. As a veteran myself, as well as coach, we believe in ensuring that you get all of the benefits that you qualify for and things like that. So ensure that you're doing the things that you're doing to get the benefits that you have rightfully earned. And good luck on your job search during your Voc Rehab appointment in the morning. I appreciate you informing us of that and letting us know. Let me tell you, Voc Rehab. I'm gonna pause about sports real quick.
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. Let's go ahead because I want to talk about that too. I like that program.
Voc Rehab is an amazing program. Let me take this off my screen here. So I used Voc Rehab as well as part of my internship with the VA. Actually, I don't do VA benefits. So for those of y'all watching or listening, you're like, "Ooh, I can hit up the actual King Smith and ask him a lot of benefits questions." No, I do IT with the VA, but Voc Rehab is an amazing program that when you apply for it, as long as you have, I'm gonna say this, the
30,
right.
and it's 30% disability is the thing.
Correct. You have to qualify by have at least a 30% rating. Go talk to your local benefits specialist on how Voc Rehab can be something that you can use to maybe jumpstart that next career. There's a lot of things that Voc Rehab covers that your regular Chapter 33 doesn't. Like Voc Rehab can be used for the additional purchase of, let's say, a laptop that you would need to use for your online classes. I know that you could use Voc Rehab for flight training as well, and it covers
Books are covered through the
everything.
program instead of the stipends that you get for the post 9/11 GI Bill.
Yep, yep. So it is an amazing program. Now, Coach, I believe you
King,
have
may
some
I?
more to add
Yeah,
to it as well.
yeah. So with the vocal rehab, there is another. There's two additional benefits I can bring up regarding that. First one is that when you do get your voc rehab, if you were to go to school and you also have your post 9/11 GI Bill, your money will be paid to you at the amount of the post 9/11 GI Bill, not the voc rehab rules. And the voc rehab, and that's a difference in the stipend money that you would be receiving monthly. And on top of that, that money does not touch the total number of months for your GI Bill. And a lot of the universities are now going to the other way so that they can extort us a little bit more for the money, but it is kind of a better methodology. But you can use and this is where my second part of that comes in. Utilize the Voc rehab first before the post 9/11 GI Bill. The post 9/11 GI Bill is very easy to use and very easy to apply for that benefit. The voc rehab is a separate benefit that you would need to be applied for and have a degree plan with. And if it is possible to do that, you need a degree for your job so that they can pay for it. Like I said, that will not touch any of your post 9/11 GI bills. So if you want to utilize that later or transfer all of that over to your dependents, if you reach that requirement or whatever you did for it, you can go ahead and do that. And by the way, just so and speaking of that transfer, let's talk about. I wanted to, if we can. I'm not sure how many people are listening, and hopefully somebody is that this affects. If you are planning on utilizing or changing the months of your dependencies, make sure you keep at least 1 month on each of your dependents for the post 9/11 GI Bill, because if you ever take them off zero, they can never get those months back, and they're ineligible for that transfer service.
Yep,
Yep.
that was something that I messed up on, but it was a hard lesson learned. Now, coach, you sent me something here and I I brought it up and I quickly read it and I don't even know what you're going to say. So I'm just going to bring this up here and kick this off by reading the headline and let you take it over. The headline says Olympic organizers apologize for introducing South Korean athletes as North Korea.
Okay.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead,
All
coach.
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you a little bit of a history as far as a little background when it comes. I'll get to the story, but here's the background knowledge that you should know, and it's regarding the broadcasting of the Olympics. You may think that NBC is doing all of their broadcasting, and you may think that some other people are doing broadcasting. No, let me explain to you this. The actual Olympic Committee has their own broadcasting center. So the entire broadcasting center for the Olympics is centralized one building. NBC, BBC, Al Jazeera, Good Morning Japan, whatever channels they have, they purchase their rights to utilize the Olympics own stream for all of this. So this is an NBC thing. This is a worldwide thing. So please don't differentiate that. There's other places that do it. It's a little bit different when it comes to sports. Formula One does it that way, and they have control of their feed and give it to everybody else. But like other sports, like that's why there's a difference in how NBC, um, Fox, and CBS all broadcast their football games, and it has a different look. That's the reason why. So just so you have that, there's that centralized people. So
Mhm.
as that centralized group was coming out and they were doing all the introductions and they pulled everything, as I was watching it on YouTube, NBC showed the clip of here comes the South Korea team, and the ticker underneath, because it said Republic of Korea, flew the North Korea flag and labeled them as North Korea.
Hmm.
So, as they are introduced to the world, the entire team is all happy, showing their their South Korean flags and everything. And the Olympic Committee identified them as being from North Korea. So that was a little bit of an uproar. Obviously, not in our state, but yeah, tensions are not really too happy right now with the Olympic Committee in Korea because, as we know, there's a 60-year ceasefire that's current, or 70-year ceasefire we're going into right now. We're almost into a 70-year ceasefire that the North still believes is still intact and they're still at war. And yeah, let's just be honest. Nobody from South Korea wants to have anything to do with North Korea. And even if they might be long lost family, all of those North Korean long lost family members are long dead.
You know, I was just about to say something about that. Like, this is going to be a very dumb thing that I say in this broadcast. So let's just get that out the way now. But how far removed is North Korea and South Korea to where they just can't drop it and go, you know what? I know our ancestors who were once related to each other had some beef back in the day, but let's chill out because you know what? Somewhere down the line, we all cousins. Why is it still a thing?
Um, can we ask ourselves that back in the summer of 2020?
Why do you say that?
Well, all I will say is that after all of those years and all of that ridiculousness, there's still that same stupidity and that same stupid mind thought with our people that was there almost 150 years ago.
Hmm.
Let's be honest. If we're going to
Okay.
call a spade, we still have trickles of people who, even though they were never affected and never may have never even been in the country when that happened. And I'm talking from both sides. Something that happened over 150 years ago still has a little bit of roots and stupidity with the way things are being done in this country. A 70-year ceasefire stoked by a dictator who has controlled the thoughts by propaganda of his people. I don't think the South Koreans would probably be like, I don't even know why this is here. The North Koreans would be, they'd be like the Ice Walkers over in freaking Game of Thrones. They're going to come down and we're just wanting to kill everybody without saying anything because South Korea and everybody else is the enemy. And the true people of the world are the North Koreans.
Man, it's to me, I don't know. Politics is interesting to me. It's fascinating. I was actually having a conversation with my lady on the drive back from Pittsburgh and talking about how it's interesting the division that we have amongst people in general, right? If you live in the US and you've been somebody like you and I have, coach, that have traveled around the world, you can see that we all breathe the same air, we share the same blood, we have the same organs for the most part, unless you have something fake or whatever that pumps blood through your heart so that you can live. There are culturally a lot of differences. There's cultural differences between people that live in Louisiana and folks that live in Boston. But I will never for the life of me understand why there's so much hatred among people by people. It will never, I don't think I can ever come to a point where I can ever understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
And it's just and even more specifically, because we were talking about North Korea and South Korea, it's like y'all, if y'all do y'all's ancestry DNA, y'all likely come from the same freaking bloodline. So why are y'all tripping?
Yeah.
But don't get me started on that.
I mean, look, that thing, it's world politics, and we can even talk about that because we can talk about that going on there for hours because there are other non-reported types of tribal and racial genocides that are happening, all along the Indo-Pacific area as well as in Africa, and none of those are getting reported. You know,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man, it's kind of, but you know what? The Olympics and this, and if you remember, I said Putin waited until after 2022 to invade Ukraine because the Olympics starts bringing worlds together, and when worlds bring together, politics start bringing together. This just happened. We've gotten this, and we just barely got out of the opening ceremony. We haven't even talked about the damn athletics that have been happening on the field that I've watched, and can say that I have several favorite athletes that I am already liking.
Ooh, all right. Well, to close
Yes.
this one out, the IOC spokesperson came out and said, look, an operational mistake was made. We can only apologize in an evening of so many moving parts that this mistake was made. And I think that's the best statement that you can put out for something like that. It's owning up to it, saying, there's 1,000 things going on. We're doing our best. Do you agree with that, Coach?
Mm, yes, no, kind of. Just with what that whole situation meant, I can see where the offense would come in from that. Okay, there's a difference between people from Virginia and West Virginia. So, and I don't know how much of the offense would come, but you see, but we don't get that part. There still is that war happening. I do think that there should have been. You can't blame the IOC for it, but it's kind of like, well, the best way of saying this, this is kind of like farting while you're in front of the pastor and at your wedding ceremony. All right. Look, everybody's there. Everybody's going to have a good time. But people are going to remember the fart right there when the preacher says, does anybody have any objections? Yeah, no.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No
exactly. Yeah.
doubt.
It's going to come down to that. Sorry.
Let's
We'll,
see.
we'll all talk. We'll all talk about the farting pastor and how North Korea or South Korea was called North Korea once, and laugh at it.
Let's take a look at something here. I'm going to bring up this video. I can't play the audio, otherwise we might get zucked. But this is highlights from the opening ceremony. So while this is playing, Coach, I'd like for you to give your thoughts about the opening ceremony and anything that you.
But I care about the athletes. Me personally, I am not one of these people who are watching it for the spectacle.
Mhm.
I'm watching it for the athletes. I'm watching it for the torch procession. If you want the fucking glitz and glam and all of that other stuff, you know what? Have Celine Dion singing or have Lady Gaga singing while they're holding the torch. All right? Lady Gaga can have a fucking torch, dress made out of. She can come out as a flying torch. Like, she's done stupid things like that before. Let them do that thing. Let the athletes be the athletes and proceed it. I don't need the musical interludes. And I think it went up. I think the main reason why this care about them. No, sure, you're happy, all of you housewives and uninterested teenage girls who finally got off their phone to watch something. I'm glad that you can finally watch the Olympics for the first time in 4 years and finally care about gymnastics so you can tell your friends that you used to do gymnastics at 4 or 5 years old until you said you didn't want to do it and mom and dad took you out. Now, don't tell me you can ever do a tumble like you can or any of these people had you would have stayed because nobody would have given a shit. And no matter whatever their athlete is out there, nobody else can jump as high or do it as long as these other people. And let me be also quite honest with you. None of you people that are watching the televisions right now have any chance of ever having any sexual encounters with any of the people that you are going to be watching out there.
Never
Okay.
say never, Coach.
Okay, yeah, you're right because I forgot the NBA, the half of the NBA is over there, so I'm already definite that right now there are 18 women that are pregnant over in Paris just by half of Team USA basketball. Oh, oh, come on.
Man, you know what? The Olympics isn't just about the athletes as well. There are the fans and the people that show up from all over the world to support their country. And before we get to the athletes themselves, there was a good video that was produced that I don't think will get us zucked. So I'd like to play said video and we will continue with the show afterwards.
My name's Dalmas Washington Majale, but najulikana sana kama Teke. I'm from Kenya, ile nchi ya wale majamaa kila Kipchoge manze, ndo sisi tumefika, and I'm very thrilled kufika hapa leo. This is my first time kuja Olympics.
Et donc on est là parce que on adore les JO, c'est notre passion depuis qu'on est tout petit.
This is our second day in Paris. It's a beautiful, wonderful city. We're actually going to have dinner in the Eiffel Tower tonight, so we're so excited.
My name's Cooper, and I think I'm looking forward to fencing.
My name is Logan, and I'm also looking forward to fencing. He did fencing, and he was very good at it, and I think it's really cool.
My name is Tanya. I am from Thailand, and we came here for the Olympic.
I'm from New Delhi, India, and I came to Paris to watch Olympics with my friend because she invited me here.
Your friend.
I'm Felipe. I'm from Brazil, São Paulo. I'm here to watch the games, and I'm very excited to see and watch Brazil, to support my team.
Yo vengo de Perú. París es una ciudad mágica y he venido para ver los Juegos Olímpicos.
Vine con la familia, la esposa, la hija, que se diviertan. Acá se habla español, inglés, portugués, italiano. Todo el mundo está acá, todo el mundo feliz.
All right. So, as y'all saw in that produced segment there, people have traveled from all over the world. Personally, I know one guy and his spouse who has traveled from the States to go over there. And when he comes back here in about 2 weeks, I told him, I said, hey, I want to see all of the photos, man, and share the stories of how it was to attend something like that, where you have people literally from all over the world in a location watching an event.
Well, I've also got a friend of mine over there as well. I'm not going to mention her name, but I knew her when she was a captain, and now she's a field grade officer over there. She enjoyed the boxing over there today, and she's always wanted to go over there to the Olympics. It was pretty cool to see her, or the pictures that she's got. That fencing thing, that guy came over for the fencing. Well, yeah, that was the background. That building that they had, that guy was talking about, that was the background for the fencing. And it was pretty cool to see. Like I said, that was like the existing infrastructure. They didn't build a brand new stadium and go into bankruptcy to host fencing. They used the damn street for fencing it. Everybody's getting the Paris experience. Like, it's not the Olympics out of Salt Lake City was more in Park City, right outside of Salt Lake City. This is like literally most of the bigger events. They're trying to really keep them right into Paris proper. I do take that back. Obviously, the surfing competition could have been done, but I did see that they did kick off surfing today down in the southern part of France, I believe over by Nice or something like that. And I believe they're using Roland Garros for the tennis tournaments where they host the French Open. I'm not sure if that's in Paris proper, but regardless of that, they're using like Paris Saint-Germain, I believe, is the big soccer or football team in Paris, or I don't even know which league it is, but I know that they're using the soccer stadiums over there too. The big one in Paris is being used for something. But it's for I believe for the soccer right now, but it's also going to be used for the track and field later on this week. So, rugby too, man. Rugby's been awesome, man, over there. And that, man, you got to look at those things.
Okay, so the rugby matches, I was able to see in between some of the events that were going on for the family reunion. And man, let me tell you, watching the place that we stayed at across the street, there was like an open square area that had like different tables and stuff for kids to do, but there was a giant screen, and they were playing the Olympic stuff on the giant screen, man. And to watch rugby on that big of a screen, man, that was dope. Like there
I
were a lot of
watched.
bone crushing hits. I was like,
I wa-
oh,
I watched the first one I watched was the 7-on-7 gold medal match of Australia against Fiji. But man, like there's like this dude on Australia. This dude's about like 5'2", and I want to say like he's maybe like head is like 4'6", and his shoulders start at 4'5". He's like one of these dudes. Man, he's like running with the thing, but he is like the ultimate rugby player. And speaking of rugby, there is a captain, Army captain, that is on the women's rugby team. She scored a goal today. She's on the Olympic team right now. She's playing. She's got this real nice tattoo on there. I got to catch her name, man, but it would be awesome if we could get her after the Olympics to come onto our show and interview her.
yeah. Let me see if I can find her name here so that we can highlight
Yeah,
her.
she's on the oh god, she was on the rugby team today. She scored the first I don't know. I saw her taking off for a touchdown or whatever the hell they score those things on. But I will say there is a woman in Australia on that rugby team.
I think I found her.
Holy, she's a fucking gazelle. She's like 6'4" and runs like Calvin Johnson used to, man. Like
Ooh.
yes. She's got a tattoo right there. Yes.
Let's give a special shout out here to Army Captain Sammy Sullivan, who went through the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in 2016. I guess at one point played soccer, but tried out for the women's rugby coach. And look at her now, almost 8 years later, competing in the U.S. Olympics on the national stage. Man, it doesn't get much better than that. That's dope.
Scroll down. You're missing the big one. Look at right there at the start of second paragraph.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh, right. Hell yeah. Okay. No, and I knew where she was, but if you look at, she's at the she's part of the world-class athlete program. And we had some athletes in the 2022 Winter Olympics that were part of that as well. But no, that's awesome that and I saw her score today. So, it was real freaking cool watching her score after that, and then finding out she was Army captain and part of the world-class athlete program was pretty fucking awesome, man.
Hey, that's a good deal. I'm gonna have to take that one down. Hey, assistant, I need you to write this one down so that I can figure out what I would need to do to reach out to her. Taking at a little bit of her background here, she is the daughter of a former Army Special Forces officer who also played rugby and was in the Army as well. So look, good deal. Those genes definitely went down from father to daughter, and we here at WTF Nation Radio wishes her much success as she competes on the national stage in Paris. I learned some things actually. Not all of the events went down inside of Paris.
No, not inside. That's why I was saying there's a lot of things that are happening in other parts of France, but yeah, not a lot of things in Paris. I found that out. Like they're going to be doing, the Olympics in Los Angeles. They're going to be doing stuff all up and down California. And what's the beach that they're doing the surfing events on is closer towards San Diego than it is to LA. In fact, the Atlanta Olympics, here's a good one for you. So they just did it over there today too, and I don't know, but the canoeing and the rapids and all of that was done in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So Paris proper, like I said, I know that they were doing the surfing in Nice because, obviously you can't surf in Paris. And I know that Roland Garros is being used for tennis, but I did not know what else outside of Paris was, not being used. Like, you got more, man?
Yeah, so in one of the first gold medals that was awarded out of Châteauroux, France. It's about a 3-hour drive from Paris, but that's where the Olympic shooting range is located at. And a team from China won the first gold medal of the Paris Olympics in the mixed team shooting competition, mixed rifle mixed team. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names because it would be disrespectful coming out of my Alabama mouth. But I want to give a congratulations here. I'm going to put it up on the screen so that we can at least give them proper respects. But these two people here competed for the gold and won the 10-meter air rifle mixed team competition. This is China's second year in a row winning the gold for this competition. And I'm curious, right, in the land of America where we're about our guns, how we're not gold medalists for this.
All right, here, I will tell you the reason why.
Let's
I
hear it.
will tell you the exact reason why. Because that is a air rifle. Air rifle. That's a fucking BB gun, dude.
Yeah. So you're
We're
saying
about our guns, and our guns kill people, okay? Let me tell you something. Them Chinese people been going ahead and trying to shoot out there where I got my scope right here on my AR, and that ain't gonna take care of it. So don't worry about it. Actually, you know what? Here is a very interesting fact that nobody will ever know, and this will not be on the August 15th episode or excuse me, the August 18th episode or 25th. What day are we doing the trivia? The 25th.
We are doing our trivia August
25th.
the 25th.
The 25th. This will not be a question on this, but in 1996. Iran sent 2 athletes to the U.S. Olympics in Atlanta. You know what they were? They were in shooting. And I kid you not, Iran went 2 for 2 in shooting in the 96 Olympics. They won the gold medal in shooting with the 2 people that they sent over.
Hey, they said if anything, we are going to be able to compete in this. So this is all we gonna do.
Let's be honest. Those people right there, well, we don't have to worry about them. Maybe Taiwan will.
Good deal. Now, Coach, we are getting to the point here where we're gonna highlight some interesting sports stuff here.
Yeah,
Talk about
did
some
you
of the
see
medals.
message that I sent you?
I did, and I actually already had
okay. I got
that one up. But I like the way that ESPN presents it. So
yeah,
let's show theirs instead of the one that I had. So let's get this up here. Let's hit this share button. And yep, the people can see this. So what do you see that jumps out at you about the current medals that have been awarded so far?
All right. Well, the first, if you look at it as far as the golds, we are not leading in the golds. We are actually tied for third with France, South Korea, and China with 3 golds, and Japan and Australia have had 4. Well, and it's pretty evened out. You're going to see a lot of the abnormal type of sports that we really don't have much in. I was actually more surprised that one of our golds today came in. I believe 2 of our golds today came in fencing. I never thought that we would be great in fencing, but the men's and the women's fencing finals was a USA lockout. So awesome job for the fencing team. As you can see, like China had a gold in the shooting. I believe France picked up a couple golds as well in I can't remember which events that I did see them, but I did see one of them have the gold. Australia, the
It
one,
was cycling, mountain biking, rugby
yes,
sevens, and
it
swimming for
the
France.
rugby sevens was the one that I did see France winning that because that was the one. All right, I take that back. It was France against it was France that had that player that I was talking, not Australia. I thought it was France that beat frickin' Fiji. I was pulling
Mhm.
for Fiji, man. You got to excuse so, but they so but Australia in the pool is what really has gotten me. Katie Ledecky was our big U.S. swimmer, and Australia has already won gold and has beaten us in the pool. Our swimmers are not at the world record pace and are not winning the gold. That's the only real surprise that I had. But when it comes down to the relays, I know that we won a gold in one of the relays earlier today, either yesterday or earlier today. But with those, we're having a lot of the other individual meets are coming up. It's going to be interesting. I think Australia is going to win a little bit more gold in the pool than we are, which is going to be a shock for a lot of people. But I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be surprised as far as that goes. Rugby looks extremely interesting. I would really like to see more, and I want to see the women's rugby because Team USA got somebody now rooting interest for. These other events that are coming up, hey, gamblers watch on that, but the gymnastics is looking really good for us. If you haven't seen, Simone Biles was injured in warm up, did a little bit on the calf, but she did her overall program today, and her and the other girl from Team USA, the number two, they are the top two in the world. Team USA right now has the advantage on the first day as a team for the overall gold in women's gymnastics. And Simone's in first, and the other girl from the USA is in second. So we're looking really good on the gymnastics front, and hopefully that will put our dominance in until we get to track and field and we win a ton of stuff, and a bunch of other individual sports like wrestling and the other combat sports start coming in, and that's when we'll start proving our dominance.
Nice. Now, as I was looking at some of the play that didn't necessarily involve medal play, I was curious what our men's basketball team had did.
Yeah.
And while they played Serbia, which Serbia had 3 current NBA players to include
Including the Joker.
Nikola, Jokic. The part that stood out to me, and I'm trying to bring this up here because I thought it was fascinating. All right, here we go. Let me get to where I can share my screen, and it was interesting. So I'm not sure how much of this y'all can see, but if I were to take a look at this, Jokic obviously led in the minutes played, and he was pretty efficient, going 8 of 15 on the floor, 1 for 6 for 3 points made, which was the part that made me go, yikes. Now, as a team, Serbia went 42% from the field, okay? Not gonna do it when you're competing against the Team USA on any platform, as they went 62% from the field, led by Kevin Durant, who
Yeah,
had 22
KD
points
off the bench was great.
off the bench, lighting it up, and he only played just under 17 minutes. LeBron led all people with 26 minutes. But the do not plays, this stood out to me. Tyrese Halliburton, not so much. But the fact that Jason Tatum didn't see a single minute in which the final score was 110-84 made me go, what?
I'm okay with this just based off of the flow of the game. Tatum did dress, and Halliburton, I know that he was having an issue with that one, but I also want to point out something else out of here. Isn't Tatum, if I'm incorrect, then I am definitely going to get punched in the face, and you can definitely tell me no. Isn't Tatum the only guy who played in the finals out of everybody on Team USA?
The other guy that did was Derek White,
Okay.
who came in late and got 15 minutes. He was the sub for the Claw, who ended up being on the team
All
and
right,
then
all
getting
right.
sent
So
home.
just hear me out. Hear me out. I'm okay with him missing a game right now. The guy just got off of the finals on that one. Halliburton. I mean, he's also got a little bit of an injury thing, so I can understand that and him not playing. Didn't need him out there. You definitely didn't, and I'm kind of glad that. I will say this: I'm really surprised, and I can't believe I am going to say this, but we're about to see a cliff on that first name that you have up there. We are hitting the cliff portion, and we're about to see we're about to see the decline. All right.
I
You just
mean,
pulled up, you just pulled up my entire report right there. Today, in today's game, as well as in that previous game that I was watching, that warm up game where they only won by 2, he looked slow.
Woohoo.
Steph does not look as fast as he used to.
Okay.
Steph has lost a step. Look, when I saw him shooting today, it looked as he did not look as natural as he used to. I don't know whether he's tired or I don't know whether he's lost, but he is not the Steph that we remember. He is not the same player, and I think we're seeing the part where Steph's not going to be able to create his own shot, and we're going to have design plays. He's still got the range. He still has the shooting touch. You're never going to lose that. That muscle
Interesting.
mechanic will stay there. I just don't think you're going to see Steph off the dribble shooting from 30 feet. And if you do, it's going to be like Jordan did when, he was at the end of the game. He didn't do it every game.
So I actually had a conversation with a lady. She played college basketball. Her daughter played college basketball as well as a year overseas. And she was at the event that I was at over the past 4 days. And her and I had a conversation, and she said something that was interesting. She said that LeBron is no longer that dude. He's not a tiger. And I asked her, like, what is a tiger and who would be those people that you would identify as that person that is just that dude in the NBA. And I won't reveal the names now because I said that I'm going to use that as a segment, as well as I'd like for her to watch the segment when I do it. But she gave me a list of 4 people, and including somebody that didn't quite make the cut that we talked about here at the sports bar. But the names that she mentioned were all of the up and coming players, those young guys. She said, hey, she said the same thing about Durant, Steph, and who I call the GOAT, LeBron James. But she didn't have any of those guys as tigers that are just that dude in the NBA. So we are going to have that on a future episode. And I want to give a shout out to the lady. I won't say her name because I don't know if she's comfortable if I just said her name. But I thought that was a really good conversation that her and I had about sports.
I gotta kind of agree with you on this, because when I think of those types of absolute, too many times that the Tiger got beat up before he ever roared. If you get what I'm saying.
What she said about that, because I found that fascinating too. She made the claim that it wasn't LeBron that was the Tiger and the reason why the 2016 team of the Cleveland Cavaliers won. She said it was Kyrie that filled that role, and it was Kyrie stepping up that willed that team, not LeBron.
Yes, because
I
you
had
know
a hard
what?
time disagreeing with it.
What? looking back at it, because one of those Tigers that you were thinking of, and I'm thinking one who definitely was Dwayne Wade. And I could
She
tell.
listed Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
So you get
And
her
I already
thinking
know
behind the
Mamba,
list of
and I
people.
already know Mamba and Jordan are on that team too. So let's go with that one right there. But now Tiger wise, like if you think of another one who was a Tiger like that off of that team, Ray Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Allen was the Tiger like that. Jordan was the Tiger like that. You really can't say Rodman, but Rodman, when he was playing, was fine. When he wasn't playing, it was a different story.
Yeah.
Pippen, you could say, but you know who else was that Tiger? And like you get to that Tiger thing, I'm gonna give you a name that will fucking shock you. Well, the name, yeah,
I'm not too familiar with his game, but in circles where NBA veterans talk about players, people revere Robert Ory.
big. I have to agree with. Well, I don't know about any up and comers right now, but I gotta kind of talk about like there were some maybe on this team. You've got some in the current NBA. You've got some on Team USA. You might not have some.
Hmm.
Yep, all depends. All depends on the current one right now.
Good
By the way,
deal.
it is kind of cool too to see some of these other guys playing against Team USA. Like, watching Jokic play on his team was kind of cool. Watching Dang play a couple weeks ago was cool. I even checked the Greeks game just so I could see the other players playing against the other guys trying to play with Giannis. It was kind of like having that one freaking D1 guy who plays, ball with you on a pickup game at the YMCA, and then here you are, here he is trying to drain jump shots left and right while you're, elbowing everybody. That's kind of what the Team Greece looked like with Giannis.
Yep.
But nah, it was cool. It was cool.
Good deal. Now let's close out the show where we highlight some of the individual highlights that have occurred so far throughout the Olympics. And I'm going to start with this one. In swimming, French prodigy Leon Marchand, and I'm probably sure I butchered his name, set an Olympic record and crushed in the field of the 400-meter individual medley. Marchand entered the Olympic Games widely considered French's top hope for the gold pool. And we want to say over here, congratulations to him for setting the Olympic record. It doesn't show what the Olympic record was, so let's look this up. Let's see.
If it's an Olympic record and it's men's swimming, most likely Michael Phelps.
Let's see. The Olympic record was 4 minutes and 2.95 seconds, just shy of his own world mark, which was 4 minutes and 2.50 seconds.
So he was the world record and he equaled his own.
All right. Yep. What it says here, yep. So he claimed a mark last year in Japan, erasing the record that was held by Michael Phelps for 15 years. So, yep.
Man, that's going to be like the default answer, like somebody used to say this, this Chicago Bull, damn well it's like Michael Jordan, or this NBA legend, Michael Jordan. That's the default answer. If this male American swimmer, Michael Phelps, it's the default answer for anything out of it. But all right, well,
yep. And now this young Frenchman who was guided by the same coach as Phelps, American by the name of Bob Bowman. It to a lot of people, they're saying that it wasn't a surprise, and Michael Phelps was in the building to witness the event get pulled off. So, congrats to the young Frenchman for beating a record that was held a long time.
Bob Bowman's name has been said in Olympics for years. Like, I want to say even in the 90s, I heard that name while listening to the or while watching the Olympics. So doesn't surprise me that this guy's got a freaking what's it called? This guy's now on the international market and getting better swimmers or whatever. But awesome, good job for him.
Good deal. Good deal. Now we also have, let's see here, in tennis, a name that people will know if you follow tennis. You don't even really have to know tennis to have heard this name. Rafael Nadal won in his return to singles action, playing at a familiar court that he is used to playing at, and he's going to get into a second round match against Novak
Djokovic, yeah.
Djokovic. Thank you for, because I was going to struggle saying that one.
Novak Djokovic. He's also one of the all-time greats. So a Nadal Djokovic this time in the Olympics at Roland Garros. Here's the best way to kind of explain what that is. Let's just go. That's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson playing in Bird's backyard basketball hoop in French Lick. There's your best example and best analogy of what that Nadal thing is about to be like. Djokovic and Nadal have met God knows how many times on the Tennis Pro, and that's most of the time it's been the finals of one of the Grand Slams. So now they're just meeting up there, but this is on Roland Garros, and Nadal has been the clay court. The clay court is his speciality, and Roland Garros is the only place that has the clay, or France is the only place that does the clay courts. So we're seeing all-time greats at the end of their careers, but we're seeing it on somebody's hometown. So
all right, good deal. Yeah. Now we've already talked about Simone Biles and the King and Me.
Wait a minute. Hey, we're getting off tennis. Almost forgot. Coco Gauff also was on the court, and she won in her match today as well.
I didn't have that in the notes, but you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up, because she's the young.
Man, I've been watching this. Oh yeah, and I didn't tell everybody the freaking channels that I've been doing it. Yeah, that's how I'm actually able to watch all this.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about the women's gymnastics team and how they're set up to finish at the top. Mm-hmm. And with Simone Biles returning, there was some talk and chatter about her limping and the calf injury, but she finished with a top all-around score of 59.566.
Yep.
And
she's going to win gold and go out and then become America's sweetheart for another year. And then when 2028 comes, she'll pass the torch to somebody.
Like Dominique Dawes did. Dominique Dawes has a gymnastics club like right down the road from where I live.
I heard about that. Like, yeah, you mentioned something about that earlier. It was something about like her being around there. We spoke about Dominique Dawes like it was over a year ago or a year and a half ago or something. But yeah,
I would have loved to have gotten my daughter involved in that. Like when people see my daughter, they assume because she has a really good athletic build that they assume that she does something. That girl is in the performing arts, but she keeps up with herself, and she's got the build of somebody that with the right training likely could have done well in gymnastics, but it was just something that A, she wasn't interested in it, and B, personally, as I was going through some things in my personal life, I may not have had the time and or money to really get her through. And that's one thing that I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but I wish things could have been a little bit different.
I get you, man. But hey, look, man, the regrets, like I said, you can have the regrets of what you've done and the regrets of everything else like that. You got to think about it. It doesn't bring you to the point of happiness that you have right now. So if you didn't go through those bad parts, or if those things didn't happen right there, of all the blessings that you've had, you wouldn't truly have had it. So let's just be honest with the way that goes. All right.
All right. And we'll finish on this last note here and talk about our upcoming schedule.
Hey, King, you want to hear something funny?
Let's hear it.
All right. No, this is like offline, but I figured I'd get this one out on here on air. I just got an email saying that the recording for your live stream class has been deleted because it's now been over 90 days. Like that's what that ring just was.
Got you. Man,
That's kind of funny.
I can't believe that was over 3 months ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
about 3 months ago. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, and it's going to be at the end of next month.
The U.S. women's national team in soccer has been dominating, unless they have a catastrophic meltdown. They're likely going to cruise and win a gold. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I watched highlights of their match, and it was like, they look significantly better than everybody else.
And I brought up a name on purpose because I wanted to segue. We just spoke about how, Dennis Rodman was a killer on the court, but truly the killer is his daughter. My God, man, she scored over there in the first game too. If y'all did not know, Dennis Rodman's daughter is on Team USA. Yes.
Wait, hold up.
Oh, you didn't know that, buddy? Yeah.
No.
The Worm's estranged daughter is on Team USA, and she is good. She scored either yesterday or 2 days ago. Well, I don't remember when the game was, but I did see that she scored in the 4-1 win, I believe, or was it a 4-0, 3-0 win the women had yesterday? But yes, I can't remember her first name right now, but check it out. Rodman on US. Yeah.
Trinity Rodman.
Trinity Rodman, and she fucking looks like him, doesn't she?
Yes. Yes,
she
does.
looks like the Worm. But man, there you go. There's a killer on the pitch right there, buddy.
Wow, I did not know that. Here we go. Here, I'm going to bring up a photo of the young lady. So, Trinity Rodman, daughter of Dennis Rodman and his ex-wife Michelle Rodman, formerly Michelle Moyer. Born in 2002, now on the U.S. Olympic women's soccer team, and getting out there and taking care of business.
And if I'm right too, she's also in that women's professional soccer league, the NWSL. She's also, I believe, on one of those teams as well. Most of the women that are on Team USA are also on, those teams as well. But yeah, man. So that's the good thing about the Olympics. A lot of people say that there's absolutely nothing else on, but watching it, but you do find it, and I think it's great that the Olympics is a gathering event because you talk about the Olympics with other people and about these types of stories. Like you never knew that, like up until today, you never knew that. Here we go. You never knew that Trinity Rodman was Dennis's daughter and she was an Olympian. You never knew that the girl who scored on the women's rugby team is an Army captain who went to West Point from Fayetteville. There's a lot of things that you come to find out during the Olympics about people that you don't know, about things that are going on that are not in our day-to-day world, that certainly become a common thing and bring you together for the love of athletics and the pageantry of athletic competition. Not made up drama, because the best drama is the human drama, the human real life thing, not the made up media contrived type of thing. The media made up type of contrived stuff is what you see over in the opening ceremony. The real interesting human story in every Olympics comes when you see people that you know and find out their stories of things, and you realize that you have them in common just from something you would have never have seen before in your day-to-day life.
Man, and in this article, this was on E! News, written just a couple of days ago, July 26th, so 2 days ago. there's been public things that have been said and quoted that Dennis doesn't have a good relationship with Trinity, but that
Yeah.
since she was primarily raised by her mom, she calls her mom her role model, but she said, he's my dad and I'm his little girl, and that's something that will never change. And she was also quoted in a post back from November 2021 saying that I go months, if not years, without hearing his presence or communications. That's gotta be a different level of knowing that knowing who your father is, right? And I would I grew up, my dad, he's in my life, he's present, I love him, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was a really good high school football player, but because of some of my dad's beliefs, he never attended any of my games. And I would have loved to have had my father there. And this is something that I've said publicly on different live streams, and he's heard it. And him and I did talk about it a couple of years back, but I would have loved to have my dad there for my games. Like there's something about a father's presence at milestones and things where you're competing that just matters. So I was going to say it'd be cool, and I'm sure that Dennis Rodman is rooting for his daughter. But after reading that, he may not
let me let, me- let
be
me let
watching.
me let me think of this though. Okay, but and now this isn't in defense of Dennis Rodman. This is more into the mindset of a guy like Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Think of it in the same way, kind of like Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea is the different man in the legal sense than Hulk Hogan ever was, but it's unbelievably hard for Terry Bollea to separate Hulk Hogan from his life, so he's continually a Hulk Hogan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, as that person, cannot separate Dennis Rodman, that public figure, out. You see this happen a lot with the stars who can't let things up. But Dennis Rodman, in his own words, and unfortunately it is true, he has got one of the most 10 recognizable faces in the entire world.
Yes.
Like, if you think about that,
Yes.
on
World.
the level of the entire world, Dennis Rodman's face out of everybody is one of the most recognizable. And it's the Dennis constant attention onto him for himself. And Dennis fed off of that attention, whether it be positive, negative, whatever that outcome was. Dennis was never that one person who needed to be that one on one type of person. Because when he was that one on one type of person, that's when all of the real ridiculous and horrible shit started to happening with him. So Dennis has had that lifestyle. He's had to pursue it, and he's had to keep it up, mainly because that's the way that he would get his attention, and it was way too much boring for him. So he will never be that one person who could have been that father that she may have needed. And I understand it, and that doesn't surprise me that he would be like that. That's separate away from him because Dennis is about Dennis.
Dennis,
But Dennis is about the team when the team is something that he's able to believe in.
no doubt. No doubt. Well, coach, that's it for our live stream today. We are going to announce that next week there will not be a show.
Yeah.
Next Sunday is my birthday, and I weighed on if I wanted to do a show next week or not, because I said, you know what, I think it would be dope to just come on, go live, talk sports, and do it on my birthday. But similar to this week, next week I'm going to be doing some traveling, so I'm going to just be getting back earlier that day for where I'm going to celebrate my birthday. So we will not have a show next Sunday. And we will return back. What's the following Sunday? August
So that'll be August the 11th. We will be
11th.
back, and I will be coming in a little bit late off of that because I'll be coming back from a ball game. But you know how you can watch the Olympics and watch it, especially while we are off the air next week, King? You know how you can watch it and keep up to date on everything that's happening and know all of these great things?
Tell us where we can do it, Coach.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can go on the Peacock app itself. And, ladies and gentlemen, for all veterans, military, and those affiliated that have access to the shopmyexchange.com, you can actually get the NBC Olympics on the Peacock app for free through that. So you might want to check that out on shopmyexchange.com, but it is available for every military and active duty, National Guard, veteran, etc. Check that out. But on the Peacock app, you have a special section for the Olympics. There are two primary channels that you need to check out. First one that I will talk about is the multi-view, which is one of those ones where you can go from screen to screen and whatever is playing, it'll play the audio. It's all right. There's like 4 games to 8 games on all at the same time. You can watch them, and whichever one you want the audio on, you can go to that audio. It's a pretty cool thing to do, and that I kind of saw 2 soccer games on at the same time. At the same time, fencing was on, and I think something else might have been surfing actually. But then I got back out, and then I saw the other channel. It's called the Gold Zone. And it is exactly like the NFL Red Zone channel. In fact, Scott from the NFL Red Zone channel is on this Gold Zone channel for the next 2 weeks, bringing to you the Olympics just in the same way like the Red Zone is going. So, yesterday, while Rafael Nadal was playing in a doubles match, no, Coco was playing a singles match, and somebody else was coming there, and then they would interrupt, going right to that gold medal game of France against Fiji in the men's 7 rugby. And I watched the rest of it, and then saw it. They did the gold medal ceremony, and they showed that. It was pretty cool. I wish Fiji would have won. It would have been cool to see Fiji win a gold medal. But they will bring it to you just like the NFL Red Zone channel. When somebody gets close to a gold medal, or if there is a gold medal match happening, they will bring that to you live. But if not, they will bring to you whatever is popular and go all the way around. And you will see whatever is around, whether it be the surfing, whether it be the diving, the synchronized diving. I didn't even know that we did that. And we also got a medal there, apparently. And yes, men, by that time, it will also alert you to when women's beach volleyball is on. And that, my friends, is the key to watching the Olympics. Have that alert for women's beach volleyball. Doesn't matter the team. Actually, I take that back. It does matter the team. Okay? It does. It does. So pick your fetish, put the alert on, and you're welcome. That's all I will say.
All right. Well, hey, this has been another episode of the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. At peak audience, we had 96 viewers watching. So we appreciate everybody that tunes in live or taps in on the replay, wherever that gets shipped off to. If you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. And I also want to thank friend of the show, producer of the show, for sending me this graphic. I like it when people produce the shows for me because that's less work on me. And somebody in the background sent me this nice little graphic that showed the total score of the artistic gymnastics for round 2. And you see 3 fierce, competitive Team USA champions, and 2 of the 3 listed right there are gold medalists already. So we wish those young women much success in the rest of the Olympics going forward. We do not have our man David Clark to sign us off today, so we're just going to end it with a salute for me and Avatar word from Coach and close out the show. Coach, close us out with whatever you want to close us out with.
All right, words of wisdom. The Olympics bring you together. Just remember that it's all of these nations that have come together in the spirit of athletics. Do not let the drama of other outside outlets try to get away with what should be enjoyed. Talk about the athletes, find out about their stories. Their stories are good, and know the commonalities, because you'll never know about what this athlete is or who this person is. They may be the son of somebody you know. They may be somebody from your hometown. Hell, it may be somebody who has the same story as you but lives half the world away. And that's the great thing about these athletics, is that does not matter at that moment about politics. Then those that use the politics at these are usually those evil ones, because that's when the evil bullshit happens. Please get rid of the politics, enjoy the athletics, enjoy the Olympics, and especially enjoy the beach volleyball.
No doubt. All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. That is Coach. I am the actual King Smith. When y'all next see us live, your mans will be 40 years old,
Hell yeah.
looking as handsome as I was as a 39-year-old. All right, y'all. We're out. Peace.
Peace.